Most women are told a lie about menopause. They are told that once estrogen declines, once the hot flashes arrive and the cycles stop, the body is doomed to become permanently dry, permanently fragile, and permanently less elastic. That belief is not only false, it is dangerous. The truth is that the vagina, like every other tissue in your body, has the remarkable ability to repair, regenerate, and even regain elasticity, if you understand how to stimulate the right processes. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step in ways most doctors never take the time to explain. I'm a gynecologist, and I can tell you this with absolute confidence. Menopause is not the end of sexual comfort, not the end of intimacy, and certainly not the end of your body's ability to function as it once did. The key lies in understanding how the vaginal walls are built, why they lose elasticity in the first place, and how to reawaken the natural systems that keep them supple and flexible. Let's start with the basics. The vaginal wall is not just a simple tube. It is a complex structure made up of several layers. The innermost lining is called the epithelium. It's thin, sensitive, and constantly renewing itself, just like the lining of your mouth. Beneath that, you have the lamina propria, a supportive tissue rich in collagen and elastin fibers. This is the foundation that provides strength and stretch. Deeper still is the muscular layer, which contracts and relaxes, playing a role not only in sexual function, but also in childbirth and pelvic stability. Finally, surrounding blood vessels and nerves keep this area alive with circulation and sensation. When estrogen is plentiful, as it is during your reproductive years, this entire system thrives. Estrogen stimulates the production of collagen, increases elastin content, and thickens the epithelial lining. It also boosts blood flow, which keeps tissues oxygenated and nourished. But when menopause arrives, estrogen drops dramatically. With that drop comes thinning of the vaginal epithelium, a loss of collagen, and reduced elasticity. Blood flow declines, lubrication decreases, and the muscles themselves can weaken. This is what doctors call vaginal atrophy. You may know it better as dryness, tightness, or pain with intimacy. Now here's the critical point that most women don't hear. This decline is not irreversible. The human body has multiple pathways, beyond estrogen, that can stimulate repair. Collagen can be rebuilt. Blood flow can be increased. Even elastin fibers, once thought to be almost fixed in number after puberty, can be stimulated to regenerate under the right conditions. That's why some women in their 60s or 70s can still enjoy supple, flexible vaginal tissue, while others in their 50s struggle. It's not just hormones. It's lifestyle, nutrition, circulation, and specific stimulation techniques that make the difference. So, what can you actually do about it? Let's break down the mechanisms one by one. First, collagen. Collagen is the protein that provides structure and firmness to tissues. After menopause, the body naturally produces less of it, which is why skin wrinkles and joints stiffen. The same thing happens inside the vagina, but collagen production can be boosted. One of the most powerful stimulators is mechanical stress, gentle stretching or pressure applied consistently. Think of it like exercise for your tissues. Just as lifting weights builds muscle by creating tiny micro-tears that stimulate repair, targeted stimulation of the vaginal wall can encourage fibroblasts, the cells that produce collagen, to activate again. This is one reason why regular intimacy, pelvic floor exercises, or even specific vaginal devices can help restore elasticity. The tissue is reminded to adapt and strengthen. Second, blood flow. Estrogen loss reduces the tiny network of capillaries in the vaginal tissue. Less blood flow means less oxygen and fewer nutrients delivered to cells. But circulation can be improved without hormones. Aerobic exercise increases systemic blood flow, but localized stimulation through massage, warm compresses, or even certain herbal compounds that act as vasodilators directly enhances circulation in the pelvic region. Increased blood flow not only nourishes cells, but also promotes angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels, which permanently improves tissue health. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, and faster healing. Third, elastin. Elastin fibers are like rubber bands woven through the collagen matrix. They give the vaginal wall its ability to stretch and snap back. For decades, scientists believed elastin was fixed after puberty, but recent studies show that elastin synthesis can be reactivated, especially when the body is provided with key nutrients like vitamin C, lysine, and proline, and when mechanical stimulation signals the need for flexibility. That's why a combination of diet, exercise, and targeted stimulation can lead to real, measurable improvements in elasticity, even decades after menopause. I want you to pause and absorb this. The decline you've been told is inevitable is not permanent. Elasticity can be restored, collagen can be rebuilt, blood flow can be renewed. This isn't theory, it's biology. And it's not just about comfort during intimacy. Restoring vaginal elasticity also improves urinary health, pelvic stability, and overall confidence. Women who take these steps report not only less pain but also greater sensitivity and pleasure. But before I reveal the exact steps, I want you to understand why so many women fail to see results even when they try creams, lubricants, or even hormone therapy. The problem is that most approaches are one-dimensional. A lubricant only reduces friction. It doesn't rebuild tissue. An estrogen cream may thicken the lining, but won't necessarily increase circulation or restore muscle tone. Even hormone replacement therapy, which can be effective for some, doesn't address the mechanical and nutritional side of the equation. To truly restore elasticity, you need a holistic, multi-pronged strategy. That's what I'll guide you through in this video. Here's a preview of what's coming. I'll show you how a simple nightly massage technique can trigger collagen growth. I'll explain the specific foods and nutrients that act like building blocks for elastin and collagen. I'll reveal a breathing method that improves pelvic blood flow in just 5 minutes a day. And I'll share a natural oil recipe you can prepare at home that not only enhances lubrication, but also supports tissue repair at the cellular level. Each of these steps alone can help, but together they can transform your experience after menopause. So let's start with the first actionable step: stimulating collagen through targeted pelvic floor activity. Most women are familiar with Kegels, but very few understand how to do them correctly to maximize benefit. A proper Kegel isn't just squeezing. It's a controlled contraction of the pelvic floor followed by a full relaxation. When done slowly and deliberately, these contractions create micro-stress on the vaginal wall, encouraging fibroblasts to lay down new collagen. Aim for 10 repetitions, holding each contraction for 5 seconds, then releasing fully for 5 seconds. Do this twice a day. Over time, you'll notice increased firmness and elasticity. But there's another layer here. Pairing these exercises with deep diaphragmatic breathing increases oxygen delivery to the pelvic tissues. When you inhale deeply, your diaphragm descends, increasing intra-abdominal pressure and stimulating blood flow to the pelvis. When you exhale fully, you relax the pelvic muscles completely, allowing circulation to wash through. This simple habit amplifies the benefits of Kegels by ensuring the tissues are well oxygenated during the process. It's a small adjustment, but it makes a significant difference. Now that you understand how pelvic floor activation and breathing stimulate collagen and blood flow, let's add the second pillar: nutrition. You cannot rebuild what your body doesn't have the raw materials for. Vaginal tissue, like skin and muscle, relies on specific nutrients to produce collagen, elastin, and healthy epithelial cells. Without these building blocks, no amount of exercise or stimulation will create lasting results. Collagen itself is made of amino acids, especially glycine, proline, and lysine. After menopause, women often don't consume enough of these in their diet. The easiest sources are bone broth, chicken skin, fish, and gelatin-rich foods. If you eat these regularly, your body has the raw protein to produce new collagen. But protein alone is not enough. To actually assemble collagen, your body requires vitamin C as a cofactor. Without vitamin C, fibroblasts, the cells that produce collagen, cannot stabilize the triple helix structure of collagen fibers. This is why people with vitamin C deficiency develop fragile skin and weak connective tissue. For vaginal elasticity, the same principle applies. Citrus fruits, bell peppers, kiwi, and dark leafy greens should be a daily part of your diet if you want to restore elasticity. Next is copper. This trace mineral activates an enzyme called lysyl oxidase, which cross-links collagen and elastin fibers, giving tissues their tensile strength. Without adequate copper, collagen fibers remain weak and disorganized. Sources include nuts, seeds, organ meats, and dark chocolate. And then there's zinc, another critical mineral, essential for tissue repair, hormone regulation, and immune health. Shellfish, pumpkin seeds, and legumes are excellent ways to boost zinc intake. Together, these nutrients provide the foundation on which your body can rebuild vaginal tissue. But let's go deeper. Beyond structural proteins, circulation and vascular health matter just as much. A poorly nourished tissue cannot heal. That's where nitric oxide comes in. Nitric oxide is a molecule your blood vessels release to relax and widen, increasing blood flow. Levels of nitric oxide decline with age, which is why circulation worsens after menopause. But you can stimulate nitric oxide production through diet and breathing techniques. Beets, spinach, arugula, and pomegranate are especially powerful because they contain nitrates that convert into nitric oxide in the body. When eaten regularly, these foods literally expand blood vessels, increasing pelvic circulation and rejuvenating vaginal tissues. Studies have shown that women who consume nitrate-rich vegetables experience measurable improvements in blood flow and sexual function. This ties back to massage, which is our third pillar. Most women think of massage as something done for relaxation, but when applied to the pelvic region, it becomes a therapeutic tool. Gentle external massage around the lower abdomen and inner thighs stimulates blood flow to the vaginal region by activating surface vessels and deeper arteries. Internal massage, performed carefully with clean hands or a safe device, takes this one step further. By applying slow circular pressure to the vaginal walls, you create controlled mechanical stress that activates fibroblasts and improves circulation. It is important that this be done consistently and gently. Think of it not as an act of intimacy, but as physical therapy for your tissues. Just 10 minutes a few times a week can create profound changes over months. To make this massage even more effective, use oils that support healing. Coconut oil is an excellent base because it is antimicrobial, soothing, and naturally lubricating. But when combined with vitamin E oil, it becomes even more powerful. Vitamin E penetrates cell membranes, protecting against oxidative stress and supporting regeneration. Some women add a drop of lavender essential oil, not for fragrance alone, but because lavender increases relaxation, reducing pelvic tension, and allowing blood flow to improve. Over time, this ritual does more than restore elasticity. It reconnects you to your body, creating awareness and confidence that ripple into every aspect of life. I want to pause and foreshadow something critical. In just a few minutes, I will reveal a specific nightly recipe, a blend of natural ingredients you can prepare at home that accelerates tissue repair. But before we get there, it's important to address the underlying factor many women overlook: inflammation. Chronic inflammation silently blocks regeneration. If your tissues are constantly inflamed, fibroblasts cannot work efficiently, blood flow is impaired, and collagen production stalls. That's why you may feel stuck even after trying creams or supplements. Where does inflammation come from? Processed sugar, refined oils, chronic stress, and lack of sleep. These are the silent killers of vaginal health. Elevated blood sugar stiffens collagen fibers through a process called glycation. This literally makes tissues less elastic. Poor quality fats, like those in fried foods or packaged snacks, integrate into your cell membranes, making them less fluid and more prone to damage. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which reduces estrogen activity and constricts blood vessels. And lack of sleep prevents your body from releasing growth hormone, the very hormone that drives tissue repair. If you want results, you must lower inflammation. This means replacing sugar with whole fruits, processed oils with olive oil or avocado oil, and setting boundaries around sleep and stress. Without this foundation, the other strategies won't reach their full potential. Now, let's bring these pieces together in a simple daily practice. Imagine this. You wake up and start your day with a glass of water infused with lemon and a pinch of pink salt. This hydrates you and delivers trace minerals. At breakfast, you include a serving of protein and vitamin C-rich fruit, giving your body the raw materials to build collagen. Later, you move your body, walking, yoga, or light strength training to improve blood flow. In the evening, you set aside 10 minutes for a breathing practice, deep diaphragmatic inhalations, pelvic contractions, and slow releases. Finally, before bed, you perform a gentle massage using coconut oil infused with vitamin E. This simple rhythm, repeated daily, compounds over weeks and months. It doesn't just restore tissue health, it transforms it. Here's the suspense. In the next part, I'll reveal how to supercharge these steps with one powerful secret. It involves a home recipe, using 2 ingredients most women already have in their kitchens, that not only improves elasticity, but also restores lubrication naturally. This recipe has been quietly supported by research, though it rarely makes headlines. Combined with everything we've discussed, it becomes the 4th pillar of restoring vaginal elasticity. Stay with me, because this is where theory becomes practical and where you'll have a tool you can use immediately. Here's the moment I promised you. The home recipe that supports vaginal elasticity in ways few women know about. It's simple, inexpensive, and backed by the same science I've been explaining. The 2 key ingredients are coconut oil and aloe vera gel. You probably have one or both in your kitchen right now. When used together, they become far more than just a moisturizer. They act as a regenerative treatment. Coconut oil penetrates deeply into tissues, carrying antioxidants and fatty acids that strengthen cell membranes. It helps reduce inflammation, which is often the hidden obstacle blocking tissue repair. Aloe vera gel, on the other hand, is rich in mucopolysaccharides, long sugar chains that bind water and hold it in tissues. That makes aloe not just hydrating, but directly elasticizing. When combined, coconut oil provides the fat-based nourishment, and aloe vera provides water-based hydration. Oil alone soothes but doesn't hydrate. Aloe alone hydrates but doesn't protect. Together, they mimic the natural balance of vaginal secretions that menopause takes away. Here's how you prepare it. Take 2 tablespoons of pure organic coconut oil and 1 tablespoon of fresh or pure aloe vera gel. Blend them together until they form a smooth cream. Store it in a clean glass jar at room temperature. At night, after cleansing, apply a small amount externally around the vaginal opening and, if comfortable, just inside. Massage gently for a few minutes. This not only hydrates but also stimulates circulation. Within weeks, women often notice reduced dryness, softer tissue texture, and improved comfort during intimacy. Over months, the fibroblasts respond by laying down new collagen, restoring elasticity in a way that feels natural and lasting. But there's a second, often overlooked element: hydration from within. Vaginal elasticity depends on water. Collagen fibers are like sponges. They require water to stay plump and flexible. Without enough hydration, they dry out and stiffen. Unfortunately, many women after menopause drink less water because they feel less thirsty or want to avoid frequent urination. The result is systemic dehydration, which shows up in tissues first as dryness and fragility. The solution isn't just drinking plain water. True hydration requires electrolytes, minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium that help water move into cells. One of the simplest habits you can adopt is drinking a glass of water with a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon each morning. The salt provides sodium and trace minerals, while the lemon adds potassium and vitamin C. Together, they help water penetrate your cells instead of just flushing through your kidneys. Over time, this small adjustment dramatically improves tissue hydration. Women who do this consistently notice changes not only in their skin, but also in their vaginal comfort and elasticity. Now let's step into advanced techniques. The first is a breathing practice known as pelvic flooding. This technique combines diaphragmatic breathing with intentional pelvic muscle engagement to dramatically increase circulation. Here's how it works. Sit comfortably or lie on your back. Place one hand on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly expand fully. At the same time, contract your pelvic floor gently, as if you're stopping urine midstream. Hold the breath for 3 seconds, keeping the contraction. Then exhale slowly through your mouth while fully releasing the pelvic floor. Repeat this cycle for 5 to 10 minutes. What happens is simple but powerful. With each inhalation, you draw blood downward into the pelvic region, and with each exhalation, you release tension, allowing fresh oxygenated blood to flush through. Over time, this practice builds new microcirculation networks in the vaginal walls, restoring sensitivity and elasticity. Another advanced technique is contrast therapy. Tissues respond to alternating warmth and coolness by expanding and contracting blood vessels, which stimulates circulation and healing. You can practice this externally by alternating between a warm compress and a cool compress on the lower abdomen or inner thighs for 10 minutes each evening. The warmth draws blood in, while the coolness flushes out metabolic waste. Over time, this cycling effect encourages angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels, that directly supports vaginal health. Think of it as vascular exercise for your tissues. Now, let's talk about something few people associate with vaginal elasticity: microbiome health. The vagina is home to trillions of bacteria, primarily lactobacilli, which produce lactic acid. This acid keeps the environment slightly acidic, preventing infection and supporting tissue health. After menopause, the loss of estrogen reduces glycogen in the vaginal lining, which is the food source for these good bacteria. As a result, the microbiome weakens, infections become more common, and tissue healing slows. Restoring elasticity isn't just about collagen, it's about restoring balance. Probiotic foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi can replenish healthy bacteria. For some women, a probiotic supplement targeted for vaginal health provides even more benefit. When the microbiome is strong, inflammation drops, infections decrease, and tissues regain the ability to heal and stretch naturally. I want to foreshadow something even more critical. In the next section, I'll reveal the role of specific herbs, natural phytoestrogens, and adaptogens that gently mimic estrogen's effects without being synthetic hormones. These herbs not only improve vaginal elasticity, but also support mood, energy, and overall well-being. Before we get there, though, let me reinforce the foundation. Collagen needs amino acids and vitamin C. Elastin requires copper and circulation. Blood flow depends on nitric oxide and breathing. Hydration requires water plus electrolytes. And microbiome balance is the hidden key to long-term results. If you build these into your daily life, you've already laid the groundwork for profound changes. To tie this section together, let me give you a nightly ritual that combines everything we've discussed so far. Drink a glass of water with lemon and a pinch of salt to hydrate. Prepare your coconut oil aloe vera blend and set it by your bedside. Spend 5 minutes practicing pelvic flooding breathing, contracting and relaxing with each deep breath. Apply the oil blend gently as a massage, combining nourishment with stimulation. End with 2 minutes of gratitude breathing. Inhale deeply, release tension, and imagine blood flowing into your pelvic region, feeding your tissues with life and elasticity. This routine doesn't take more than 15 minutes, but it stacks hydration, nutrition, circulation, and stimulation into one powerful practice. Do it nightly for a few weeks, and you'll begin to notice results that no cream or pill alone could provide. Do it for months, and you'll feel your body transform. But here's the suspense. Even this can be amplified. There are herbs and plant compounds, safe, natural, and time-tested, that can awaken estrogen receptors just enough to restore flexibility, moisture, and vitality without resorting to synthetic hormones. In the next section, I will reveal the 5 most powerful, how to use them, and what results you can expect. Now it's time to uncover the role of herbs, nature's quiet solution to the problem of lost elasticity. While estrogen declines after menopause, your body still has estrogen receptors waiting to be activated. The key is that these receptors can respond to certain plant compounds called phytoestrogens. These are natural substances found in foods and herbs that mimic estrogen in a gentler, weaker way. They don't replace your hormones. They don't overwhelm your system, but they provide just enough stimulation to help tissues like the vaginal wall rebuild collagen, increase blood flow, and restore elasticity. The first is red clover. This humble plant contains isoflavones, a type of phytoestrogen shown to reduce vaginal dryness and improve elasticity in postmenopausal women. Isoflavones bind lightly to estrogen receptors, encouraging the tissues to thicken and regenerate without the risks often associated with synthetic hormone replacement. Red clover tea or supplements can be taken daily, but consistency is what matters. Results build slowly over weeks and months. Next is fenugreek, a seed long used in traditional medicine. Fenugreek not only contains phytoestrogens, but also compounds that support natural lubrication by stimulating sweat and mucus glands. Women who consume fenugreek regularly often notice softer tissues, improved elasticity, and a subtle but steady return of moisture. You can brew it as tea or take capsules, but the real key is making it part of your routine, not a one-time fix. Another powerful herb is black cohosh. This one has been studied extensively for menopause symptoms. While best known for reducing hot flashes, black cohosh also exerts an estrogen-like effect on vaginal tissues. It supports collagen formation and improves blood flow to the pelvic region. The result? Not only reduced discomfort, but also improved stretch and resilience in the vaginal wall. Now, let's tie everything together into a simple, actionable plan. If you follow these steps consistently, you will create real, measurable change. Morning routine. Drink a glass of water with lemon and a pinch of sea salt to hydrate at the cellular level. Eat a protein-rich breakfast with vitamin C for collagen, and consider adding a nitrate-rich food like spinach or beet juice for blood flow. Take a short walk or do light yoga to increase circulation. Daytime habits. Reduce inflammation by avoiding processed sugars and refined oils. Support your microbiome with fermented foods or a targeted probiotic. If using herbs, take your chosen supplement such as red clover, fenugreek, or maca consistently. Evening ritual. Spend 5 to 10 minutes on pelvic flooding breathing, deep diaphragmatic inhales with gentle contractions, followed by slow releases. Apply your coconut oil aloe vera blend as a gentle massage, stimulating fibroblasts and improving circulation. Alternate warmth and cool compresses a few nights per week for contrast therapy, enhancing vascular health. End with 5 minutes of pelvic mindfulness, releasing tension and reinforcing healing signals. Do this daily, and you're addressing every factor that affects vaginal elasticity: collagen stimulation, elastin regeneration, blood flow, hydration, microbiome support, and mind-body balance. This is not a quick fix, it's a process. Tissues respond slowly but surely. The first changes you'll notice are comfort and hydration. Then comes improved flexibility, less discomfort, and, for many women, a return of pleasure and confidence. And here's the most important truth. Menopause does not define the end of intimacy or vitality. It marks the beginning of a new chapter, one in which you have the wisdom to care for your body differently, more intentionally, and with greater understanding than ever before. Elasticity can be restored, lubrication can return, confidence can grow. The tools are in your hands, and the results are within your reach. So tonight, take that first small step. Prepare your oil blend. Practice 5 minutes of breathing. Tell your tissues you are healing, you are elastic, you are alive, because they are. And so are you.